You guys all know my predictions for Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's going to $322,000 as long as it stays as bullish and as volatile as it is right now. It's definitely been a fun week for Bitcoin, but how long will this continue for? Today, we're bringing on Chris from MMCrypto, one of the biggest cryptocurrency channels out there. And we're going to be talking about where Bitcoin is going to go in the immediate short term, the medium term, and the long term. Let's get it. BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap gets you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.io. Hey guys, I'm joined with Chris from MMCrypto. The channel has absolutely exploded this year for him. As you guys know, things are going great here in crypto. Glad we finally connect. This is actually the first time we've spoken person to person here. We've messaged a lot. Just want to say welcome to the channel. And like I said, congratulations on your growth this year.
Thank you very much for having me, man. Your views are going crazy. Your community is so lovely. I went to the comment section. It's just insane, man. It's very nice to be on your channel. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm excited to talk about the best asset in the history of mankind, Bitcoin.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's just jump into it. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, where you think it's going in the short term, medium term, long term. We're going to talk about some of your trades you have open, and maybe you can kind of show us some stuff that you're seeing on the charts as well. So let's get started. Where do you think Bitcoin is going in the very short term? Like, let's say over the next, week to 2 weeks, maybe February, as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, crazy things are happening right now. I don't have to tell you. Everyone saw the Elon Musk news, and where people were calling me crazy for quoting 30, 40,000 US dollars for February. Wow, we are at 48,000 now. Yeah. People are not calling me crazy anymore, at least not on my channel, maybe on yours. Let's see in the comment section. But yeah, still, I am expecting much higher price targets to come for the remainder of this year. Maybe we are talking about the short term first. I can share my screen here.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's check out what you're looking at.
So what we can see here is the Bitcoin price on the 1 hourly candles. And quickly going out here on the 4 hourly, you can basically see that we had like crazy trades, just like you on your channel. I'm watching your channel as well throughout the last few weeks and months. I mean, all of these patterns are a proof of success. And right now, zooming in into the current moment of now, going over to the 1 hourly candles, you can see that we had this furthermore Elon Musk pump with his confirmation. We actually joined the trade. I will show that later on. We had this big leg towards the upside, and then a very traditional bull flag here, where the price is floating between support and resistance to the downside. And we actually broke out. We confirmed the breakout, and Bitcoin is right now once again in a bullish stance. We had a shoulders pattern with a fake out, which furthermore showed actually that the bulls are more in charge than the bears. So my price target right now is, and this is a measured move price target from the bull flag, just for the immediate short term, talking here about today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. If this pump actually continues, well, then we can look at this half staff pattern. If I am pulling over this one here from the bottom to the top of the bull flag, then I'm pulling it over here, and we already broke out, right? I'm not giving any 100% certainties here, but the price target for this would be, incredibly enough, 54,000 US dollars. And for this to happen, actually, the only thing I am now looking out for, since we already closed the 4 hourly outside, we had volume support and we confirmed the breakout. The only thing I'm looking out for is a close above the previous high here, above the 48,500 US dollar levels. Once we are breaking this once more, I am very certain that we can reach these higher price targets. But you also asked for the mid and long run. And just quickly, do you have any other question before I'm going to the other time frames? The short term is already mind-blowing, I think.
Yeah, no, I like the short term. I think that's a good price target. I do believe that we're heading over 50K soon, so that definitely lines up. So let's move on, look at a little bit longer time frame.
Yeah, I wanted to go here to the BLX chart, and this is the weekly candles. And in the end of the day, for us Bitcoiners, it's not very surprising. I'm sure you talked about that as well. I was talking about it for years now, that the history is not repeating, but it's certainly rhyming.
Right.
And we are always seeing the Bitcoin price floating around here in 2011, 2012, between these converging trend lines. Then we are eventually breaking out. Once we are breaking above the previous all-time high, we are going to this last parabolic bull cycle here, represented by the green circles, whatever, like, green circles or however you want to call it. And then we are reaching the all-time high. which you never know how high we are actually going to go.
Right.
We just know we are in the parabolic bull cycle, and we are floating around between support and resistance in these converging trend lines. Same thing again in 2016. These vertical orange lines are actually the halving. We are breaking out, going to the parabolic bull cycle, hitting the all-time high in 2017, and then once again converging between support and resistance. And I was actually personally, myself, starting to go heavy. And I am talking about heavy with $1 million trades into long trades for Bitcoin. Once we broke, I documented that over on my MMCrypto channel, the 9,500 US dollar level. Right here, you can see it. We broke above, and this was the moment where I was already projecting this parabolic bull cycle to happen, especially after hitting the all-time high. This is exactly what is happening right now. The most important question right now is though, how high will we go? For how long will we go? How high? And my personal prediction right now is, and there are some things which you and I, we just can't predict. We don't know how much will the Federal Reserve actually print. Right. Is Apple and Google actually joining the game? I certainly do think so. But with all other factors given right now at current purchasing price levels, purchasing power levels, purchasing power parity levels, I would say 250 to 300,000 US dollars all the way up here is the very, very likely target. What you can basically see here, this blue line I was laying out, is basically a copy from the cycle in 2013.
Right.
Because I see a lot of similarities here.
Me too. Same thing.
Yeah, a lot of similarities.
We talked about that on the channel, about how it seems like this is more mimicking that cycle than the last cycle. And the last cycle was a little bit of a pullback from the one before. So, we could be getting, an even higher cycle this time.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure when you mentioned that, if it was a few weeks ago, some people were still laughing at you. I don't think anyone is laughing anymore, right? No. I mean, this just looks way too identical with the previous cycle in 2013. And the reason why I think that this cycle might be crazier than the last one, even though usually we have the narrative of diminishing returns to scale with more maturity in the market, is that the monetary policy is just completely unprecedented, right? We have never seen something like that. And now we have this crazy leverage, these S&P 500 companies, NASDAQ-listed companies joining the space, people like Michael Saylor putting a huge leverage behind Bitcoin right now. Every single executive he's speaking to, and he talked to thousands of executives in his conference for Bitcoin, is a leverage to the treasury of the underlying company. I mean, this is something I was talking about earlier. Usually you have supply, demand, and the price. And whenever the demand is increasing, and it's increasing like crazy right now, well, people mine more gold, people produce more watches. Whatever the demand is increasing for, there's also more produced. So you have a regulating mechanism of the supply and the price. But for Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, nope, we have a fixed supply, and the only point of regulation here is the price. And this is gonna blow everyone's mind. I'm very sure about that. This is why 300,000 US dollars might be a very conservative price target to answer your question here for the long run. And I don't know, should I talk about the trades, because many people are interested in?
Yeah, let's before we get to the trades, I definitely want to get to the trades next. I did want to just briefly talk about one question I had. When you overlay the box along with the 2013 cycle, what is the exact price point that's at the top of the blue chart right there, of the line on the chart, and then what is the exact line of the top of the green box?
In this specific case, I was screwing it a little bit to make it fit. To be honest, here it would be in this case 740,000 US dollars, but it is really like a very, very high speculative thing here. Just for entertainment purposes, 750,000 US dollars. I would be interested actually in your price prediction. I know I'm guest on your channel now, so mine was 300,000. Please let me know yours before I go into the trade.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and once again, just kind of like you said earlier, like people for so long have called us crazy. They've called us moon boys. They've said we're unrealistic. But the truth is the people that are saying that are the people that are not nearly as educated as we are on these Bitcoin cycles. And we come up with these price points, and I believe that we will proven to be true, and we will be proven right. You say 300,000, my number exactly is $322,000, and that is an average price based on three kind of off-the-wall numbers, right? Number one is the stock-to-flow model. Stock-to-flow model is $289,000. You have the I really like the Citi prediction. That was an internal document from Citibank that was leaked. I believe their price was $318,000. And then if you take the last bull cycle, it 18x'd the previous all-time high. So if you 18x 20,000, that's $360,000. And when you take those three kind of different models for price prediction, you come up with the average of 322K. And that's where I believe that we'll be going to. So pretty good.
Very close to each other, man. That's not even like 7-8% off. Very nice.
So let's check out your trades.
Yeah, let's go quickly here into the trades. And obviously, I mean, everyone knows.
Ooh, look at that. Wow.
Yeah, they are, of course, speculative. They are risky. It sometimes looks a little bit easier as it is in the end.
Absolutely.
But to be honest, like in the last few weeks and months, it was quite easy. But yeah, of course, we should always apply proper risk management. This is actually, I will only show 2 trades. I have 6 trades open. I will just show 2 of them to make it a little bit easier. And this is my trade over on Bybit. It's 1 million contracts. I opened it at the Elon Musk confirmation, actually, when he was confirming on Clubhouse that he is actually not trolling us with his Bitcoin support. This was the moment I didn't trade the charts. I just traded the news. This was what I was waiting for years. So I went here into that trade. It is right now $400,000 in a profit, approximately $1,000 1,000%. I will be taking my first profits at $54,000 just to make sure, and also to get ready for some new trades. I have another trade open here. If you already said wow to that one, this one is right now 1.4. Let me quickly remove this.
Holy smokes.
$1.45 million in a profit. I took 150K already. Here, this trade, it was actually a quite small trade. It's still a big one. 165,000 contracts. I actually put in 2.5 million contracts live in a video. In the moment, actually, he was putting the hashtag of Bitcoin in the Twitter bio.
Wow.
Because I had in mind the conversation with Michael Saylor, and I thought, the likelihood is at least very high that this time it is not a troll. And well, I was right. So I put 2.5 million contracts in, and right now it is here approximately $1.5 million in a profit. I'm gonna keep this one open as well, but I will take significant profits at the $54,000 levels. Let me stop screening here and go back here into the face mode. So these are my trades right now. I have 4 more trades. Long-term trades I opened at 9,400, 10,500, and much more. But it's just too much to show here.
Man, that is unbelievable. People watch our channel sometimes and think we're trading with crazy numbers. What you're trading with, that is really, really intense. I have a big problem with taking the profits too early sometimes, because one of my biggest leaks in trading for so long, I would have always been a successful trader if I just would have been locking along profits. And a lot of times I wouldn't do that. And it's very curious, as I was looking at your trades there, I want to address that. You don't have a stop loss. My new strategy and how we've been able to win time and time again, we're doing much more trading than the longer term trades that you showed here. We're getting a lot of smaller wins, but we're still racking them up for sure because I'm locking in the profits. So notice you don't have a stop loss at all set in for that trade on Femex. And I'm not sure, I didn't notice one on Bybit. Do you have a stop loss on that one at all?
Never. No. I usually go without stop losses. It's not recommended for everyone.
Absolutely,
for an asset like Bitcoin, especially, I'm trading the swings, and sometimes I'm standing on the sidelines for 2 weeks. Yeah. I'm going in when I'm very, very certain. And then I'm going in with the leverage that my liquidation price is where my stop loss would be in the first place. So I decrease my the amount of volume I'm going in. I risk the same, but I only have a liquidation price because I know for you it worked very well. We just have different strategies.
Yeah, absolutely.
The price sometimes goes for like a stop hunt, and I don't want to be a victim of that, especially considering that I'm not having so many trades, so I want to keep them open.
They hunt us for sure. There's no question about that. They come hunting for those trades, try to stop us out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's good. And I think you really hit on a key point there, which is, and I think we both definitely agree on this. If you're newer to leverage trading, be careful and you definitely want to learn how to do it very well before you kind of go without the parachute, without a stop loss. You eventually get to a point where you understand how it works very well and you're willing to take that risk, for a lot of different reasons. I don't use a stop loss a lot of times because I'll just have more contracts loaded up if I get stopped out, and then it bounces back up and make it back. We've done that several times on the channel recently. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Love to do it again sometime. And everybody can make sure to go subscribe to his channel, MMCrypto. You can't miss him. He's got the crazy face on the crazy thumbnails. Everything's an emergency and an alert. You guys know it. I know it. So thanks for coming on the show and sharing those predictions with us.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Amazing channel. I think the most viewed one in the world right now. Beautiful to be here. Happy to come back anytime in the future. Big shout out to everyone in this community for being in Bitcoin, for being a believer. And if you think you are late, you are not. You are still early in the game. So yeah, I will see you over on the other side. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. And guys, don't forget, we'll be doing an interview on his channel as well. You guys can look out for that. So thanks, everybody. That's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.